And like that, the professor is ready to go, got the glasses on. We're all set. It is Liquidate All Assets with Daryl the Guru Johnson, Dan Dibley, episode 16, Goo. Don't break my heart now. It's number 16.
I would need security if I don't come with the proper number 16. And by the way, I got the money green shirt, so it's about the money. This is dedicated to Mr. Joe and Jennifer Montana. How about that?
I love it. You got the green on for Notre Dame, of course, which is where he donned the green.
Oh, yeah,
before.
There you go.
Yeah, he donned the green before he donned the red and gold. I don't think he wore. Yeah, and he did wear number 16 at Notre Dame. I want to say he wore 3. I could be wrong. He might have worn 16. I just don't remember him there. But it is Liquidate All Assets, brought to you by BetQL, BetQL.com, the only place to go before you make any sports wagers. And Goo, we got a full plate today. We've got some NBA futures to talk about, some of the awards coming up, Rookie of the Year, MVP, MLB locks, as always. Now, today's Thursday, so the golf is already underway, but we've got some real-time live betting golf, and I've got a betting conundrum. It's a quandary, Goo, about the Little League World Series. Hopefully, you can help me through that as the program goes on.
I'm here for you, buddy. I'm here
for you. We got the Premier League, week 2 of English Premier League soccer, so we got some matchups there that we can talk about. And, of course, we've got some preseason football to get into with the Niners favored in their game against the Chargers. But let's start with a baseball, Goo. Let's give the people a freebie right off the top. Give me one of your baseball locks for tonight.
It's Cincinnati hosting the lowly Marlins. And as we talked about all week with last night in our league, one of my favorite segments of the show, Cincinnati is right on the heels of trying to catch the struggling Padres. So Luis Castillo hosting, along with his Reds team, the lowly Marlins, who play hard, but it's minus 120 on the run line. So the play dibs early out the gate is Cincinnati to beat the Miami Marlins by 2 at home, as they're only a game and a half back of the San Diego Padres for that second wild card. This is a lot. This made me put on the shirt. Yeah.
I love it. You're putting it straight in the bank. That's about as strong as it gets. Now, Goo, talk to me about the money line versus the run line. Why are you more likely to play the run line, even though a lot of times your team then has to win by 2 for it to cash?
Well, it's all about money to me, because right now Cincinnati for this game is minus 185 on the run line. So you got to put up $185 just to win 100. So if you don't got that capital, or you feel like that's too expensive, you look at the next category. If you're that confident that the Reds are going to just bamboozle the Marlins. So when I go to the run line, it's only minus 120. So I get better odds that it'll be a blowout, and, baseball game relatively close by 2 or 3. But for them to win by 2, I don't got to spend as much chicken for my chickens to come home. I get paid with less of a risk.
I love it. Shout out to Camus, Matty G, Dante, Robert, Joe Spad, all joining us on StreamYard. Of course, you can always catch us on the YouTube channel at 957 The Game. This is brought to you by BetQL. Looking for sports betting content all day long? The BetQL network is now available nationwide on the Odyssey mobile app and website. Over 10,000 homes, auto-connected devices, and at BetQLnetwork.com. This is wagertainment for every fan, morning, afternoon, and night. Betting angles throughout the day, insights from local and national experts, entertaining content to keep both casual and hardcore bettors engaged. Get sports betting tips from the best in the game. BetQL Network, streaming now on Odyssey. Well, Goo, I'm going to give you one.
Before we get started, real quick, I want to give a shout out to the fans, the listeners. We had over 40K views. I'm going great with a great album, Views. But for the people to be interested and check us out, keep it up, and we thank them.
Yeah, and I'm just retweeting the current episode right now. It's already underway. That way, if you're following us on Twitter, you can get on board, or StreamYard if you find it on Instagram Live, and certainly on our YouTube channel. Well, Goo, we're already underway. You've already given out one winner, and I'll serve up one from baseball as well, because the Milwaukee Brewers have been playing great. They're playing very well. And I'm going to give the 1.5 to St. Louis. It's Brandon Woodruff of Milwaukee against John Lester of the Cardinals. It's 188 on the money line. So if Milwaukee just wins, it's minus 188.
Yeah.
Bet at 188 to win 100. But I'm going to give the 1.5. So Milwaukee must win by 2. That's minus 120. That Guru is my baseball lock of the day.
That's a good one. And also your boy had that coming in as my secondary pick. So that's a great one. And again, Milwaukee, they got great pitching and they need the game. They're just a locomotive on the right track, man, moving in the right direction.
I love it. Later in the program, I either will or won't give out my Little League Baseball lock of the day. I'm currently 1-1. We had Hawaii given
500.
Well, Hawaii given 5.5 runs. They covered. And then we took Tennessee minus 2.5, but Ohio won it outright in extra innings. Is this moral or immoral betting on Little League? We'll get into that, Goo, a little bit later in the program.
Love it. And I don't want to spill the tea here, but damn it, if Vegas thinks it's okay in my book.
It's interesting because a lot of this is not Vegas; it's offshore, and that's where you get into that some of the gray area that we deal with in a business where it's not fully legalized yet. Shh.
Yeah, my bad.
We got to keep some of that under wraps. Goo, MVP for the NBA regular season. The odds are out. Who do you think's the favorite for NBA MVP?
You know what? I'm going to shock you. I don't know, and I'm going with what's happening in Los Angeles, and I'm going with LeBron James.
Wow, LeBron James is 7th on the board, actually tied for 6th in NBA odds.
That was a horrible answer then. I can't wait to hear the right one.
It's a Luka Doncic.
I ain't mad at that, but, he doesn't have that Robin. And, each year it catches up to him because it damn sure is not Porzingis. I like his game, but Dibs, I feel like for him to hoist up that trophy, he needs help, and I don't see that help in Dallas yet. So I get it that he's up there, number 1. I just don't see it.
Yeah, they got him at 9-2. Your odds-on favorite to be MVP in the NBA. Second choice, a guy who goes by the name Wardell. 7-1. Steph Curry, like Goo, your second choice.
I like that one, and all he was missing in his portfolio last year was the team success. Although they were over 500, we know they technically didn't make the playoffs, but they made the playoffs, all depending on what year it was. But he played like an MVP. I like that.
Your third choice, 7.5-1 or 15-2. He's won it twice already, and now he's an NBA champ. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I can see that. I ain't mad at that one. I can see that. I'm just waiting for the guy's name that I haven't heard. He's a center. I'll wait for 2 of them, Dibs. I'm surprised we haven't heard him as of yet. I ain't mad at any of these.
Well, the fourth choice, and I think this is where the money really can be made, is a guy who is seen as the best player on the planet, currently involved in a big-time controversial interview with a former teammate. He wears, he used to wear 35 in Golden State. Kevin Durant, Goo, they're giving 8-1 on KD. That's a nice price for the Durantula.
I would get in a caddy and ride to the offshore spot and put down a lot of chicken on that 8-1. And you got to understand, he's got some venom in him too, just the way that air ball and that loss to Milwaukee in overtime after he just showed the world how, I'm going to go youngster here, Fabo he was. Dibs, 8-1. I like that, man. Wow.
Yeah, the next up would be the guy you were talking about, Joel Embiid. He's 8.5-1, 17-2. Then Lillard and LeBron at 12-1. Harden and Jokic, the defending champ, at 14-1.
I was just going to say, where is Jokic? Because when you talk about Nugget basketball, you're talking about him. And Murray is where Clay was, coming off a severe injury. So hopefully he gets back and he can help, but it'll take a while. Damn, Dibs, Jokic all the way down. That's pretty steep for him.
Yeah, there's one more note because there's a bunch of guys on this list, and shout out E-Dog, Evan Giddings, who is our great producer here on Liquidate All Assets. Yeah, E-Dog is one of the bright stars at 95.7 The Game. Who do you think has better odds, Ben Simmons or Klay Thompson?
Oh, I'm going, and I'm down on Ben, but the fact that he doesn't have, I won't call it a dilemma, it's just about basketball confidence at this point, unlike Klay in the physical. So Olivia Newton-John, Ben doesn't have to go through that, so I'm going to go with Ben Simmons.
Yeah, Ben Simmons at 80-1 to win the MVP. Klay Thompson 66-1.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Klay, but like I said, we know he's starting out the gate behind the 8-ball, Dibs, because he won't be there opening night. So in essence, that's 666-1 because he would have to just be, physically all the way back and making up for lost time, and I don't see that happening.
This is Liquidate All Assets with Dibs and Guru, brought to you by BetQL, BetQLNetwork.com. Guru, are you interested in Rookie of the Year odds, my friend?
Dude, I've been watching nothing but Summer League and putting chicken on it. Yeah, this is exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah, we got co-favorites Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green, both 11-4, which is just under 3-1. So about plus 275, I think, for Cunningham and Jalen Green. Jalen Suggs, 13-2, 6.5-1 odds. What do you think about the three that are really kind of grouped at the top of the board?
I'm excited about all three. Wish I had the hair of Green in Houston, but I looked at the selfish aspect of their current teams, and Detroit and the way Cade Cunningham plays, Dibs, I think it's just a match made in heaven in regard to him getting his Russell Westbrook on, Westbrook on in regard to shot attempts. So I just think it's there for him to be what LaMelo Ball was, what we saw from him in Charlotte. Green, he's got a couple more established guys to where they may be like, oh, we shoot first before we give it to you. But I like, what he does and how he plays. And Suggs, I don't know if he has that, and I could be selling him short, Dibs, that mechanism to be a junkyard dog in regard to it's my team, I'm the rookie, y'all ain't nothing, I'm getting my shots up. I think he'll be more assist guy than point guy. I could be wrong, but I do like Cade Cunningham in this.
Just a couple more on the rookie board. The Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga, 33-1. Moses Moody, 50-1. Can either make enough of a dent to really make a push in this race, Goo?
I love Moody, but from, his size, he won't be, he won't have the size advantage every night. And like Steph Curry, he doesn't have it, but it works for him. But what we see in Kuminga, good Lord, he is a physical mismatch. And if he gets the time, Dibs, here, the dark horse, I could see him getting Rookie of the Year. Everything would have to go right, but he plays with smart players. And if he was to get in there and mix it up with those big shoulders and that big body, the Warriors could be looking at something.
Man, they may have action. And again, I think with the Warriors, you probably won't get the minutes, like you're saying, to have the time to make the impact to really make a push. Shout out Keith, Bay Area Baller, Jose, Khalil, of course, all catching us on the StreamYard. If you have comments, you can always join us on the StreamYard link and log in, make your comments, and we'll try to read them as we go. I just saw one pop up. And, of course, go to YouTube. And as Khalil says, you got to hit that like button and you got to subscribe. Thank you, Khalil. And Whitley Sandretto, another one of our bright stars. Yeah, Whitley's handling the technical producing of this podcast. Putting your comments up there.
Speaking of comments, Dibs, I got one you made last episode 15.
Okay.
I'm going through a midlife crisis, so I was trying to grow the locks out. And you used the word my wife heard. You said pick. You said it looked like I needed to pick. So just for you and everybody, I got the ways back, Dibs, and I just cut the midlife crisis out and went back with what I know.
I appreciate it. It was the seas were rough. I was getting a little seasick. I had to take some Dramamine.
That's too funny.
The waves were a little choppy for me, but you're tight. My girl's got me. I'm on like a 4-day. I got my own. Every 4 days though. I gotta because it grows here, but not over here.
Right,
and it might grow here, but it certainly doesn't grow back here. So
you're looking good, dude.
I appreciate it. Your boy's a little patchy here on Liquidate All Assets. And fortunately, I can still afford haircuts. Goo, what if I gave you DPOY? How do you think Draymond would rank in the preseason DPOY odds?
Man, we talked about him a lot. And I'm going to say this. The fact that he finished third last year, I mean, that's really second or one. So it could have went either way. Dibs and Klay coming back at some juncture. You got Kuminga. Bielitsa don't play much D. I'm trying to think of Porter Jr. I like it. Where are we at with it? What's the number?
He's 12-1, Goo. He's the sixth choice to be Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA.
Wow, you know what? I'm gonna take that. What's that look like, Dibs? We said 12-1, right? So I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put something on Dre to go 12. I mean, especially even if this week's events don't mean anything and they're all good. His appearance on the podcast, him finishing third, I could see him making that jump to 1, Dibs. I'm gonna give him that benefit of the doubt. And at 12-1, I mean, the advantage is up to the better right there.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And the other choice that's up there is Bam Adebayo, who's 14-1. Here are your favorites. You got Rudy Gobert, 3-1. He's won it a couple of times. At some point, they got to move off him. Ben Simmons, 4-1. Giannis, 7-1. Anthony Davis, 8-1. If he can stay healthy, maybe. Joel Embiid is 9-1. As soon as Draymond Green finds out that he's the 6th choice, he's going to go off on defense.
No, I love that, Dibs, and I'm with you. But I'll say this. The one name that stands out to me, and I can't stand Gobert because I feel like he's so right by the rim so much, he just wins it by default. I'm going to the NBA champs. I could see Giannis getting this award, which it was his a couple years back. I'm going to put some chicken on Giannis.
I love it. Ultimately, these votes kind of don't come down to the eye test as much as it does things like the defensive metrics, the defensive plus minus and all that other one.
Huh?
Yeah, one more goo from NBA before we give out some NFL preseason locks. And I've got some in-tournament golf, and I still have to talk to you about my Little League quandary. And it's getting worse because I gave you Nebraska on the money line, and they're up 2-0 in the first with the bases loaded, and I'm getting excited. And should I be getting excited about the fact that Nebraska's got the bases loaded? We can get into that in a minute. But Coach of the Year, Goo, they've got Steve Kerr, the favorite, at 8-1. What does that mean for the Warriors' year?
I mean, man, everywhere you look, the Warriors are getting love, and I'm not against it, but there are a lot of question marks. And is this the Warrior team we're going to see? Could we see a late Ben Simmons trade? So if you're telling me he's Coach of the Year, you're telling me they're getting their San Francisco Giants on and they're winning. So it's about health. I'm not mad at that, Dibs. Yeah. I just don't know if I'm comfortable putting some chicken down on it.
Yeah, Steve Nash, 9-1 would be your second choice. And then you take a look at Nebraska. Nice. Nebraska trying to stay out of trouble here. You got Spoelstra, Billy Donovan, Frank Vogel. Monty Williams, I think, is an interesting one if Phoenix can run it back. And then Rick Carlisle and Jason Kidd. I just thought that it was interesting that Steve Kerr was listed as the odds-on favorite.
Well, I'll say this, and you said a name, Santa Clara's own Steve Nash. The Nets, I mean, you talk about health, they were just victimized at the most inopportune time. But if you're telling me with that band of talent and 9-1, and they've already shown us when healthy what they are, Dibs, I would load up on that 9-1.
I love it. It's a good choice because if they're healthy, they should win the East. And, if he can keep all the egos together in check.
Season. Yeah.
Yeah. And that they could be a very, very potent team. And ultimately, Coach of the Year usually goes to either a big surprise team or one of the more successful teams. And if Brooklyn wins 65 games, Nash could be a good price at 9-1.
No doubt. I like it. I'd put something down on that. I think I am, Dibs.
Yeah, this is Liquidate All Assets with Guru and Dibs, brought to you by the BetQLNetwork.com. NFL preseason, Goo. The 49ers on display in a big spot at LA, and they are favored by 5 on the road. What do you think about the Niners with maybe a little Jimmy G, some Trey Lance, Niners given 5 at LA?
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing that I took away from last week's Niner preseason game, and some could call me ludicrous, shout out Luda in Atlanta, the offensive line. And now we know Trent Williams will not see the field again. Dibs, I don't like that from a Niner standpoint. Trey Lance, I thought he was great. How much of Jimmy do we actually see now that we know Trent Williams is not playing? Does Mac get some run? But if not, we saw the backup struggle some, and we saw Trey Lance get introduced to the NFL. So I don't like the Niners in this position. I know they're having the joint practices with the same team they'll be playing, but I would take the Chargers.
Chargers and the 5. The over-under, by the way, 34. And Goo, if you look at these over-under totals in the preseason, there's not one of them that's over 40 other than the Chiefs at Arizona. And I guess the expectation is maybe you get some Mahomes and some Kyler Murray, but these totals are crazy low.
But I've been watching NFL Network. I mean, just on loop, and they're showing the games, and everything is what's the goal, Dibs? Let's put the rat on the table. Nobody wants to get their stars hurt. So if the stars are out there, the play call is conservative. So it's like college or high school ball. Hand it off, let the clock tick. Let's live another week.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking about doing a bit where blanket unders. We're going to bet under every.
I love it.
But these numbers are scary low, Goo. I mean, you talk about around the NFL, there's one game over 40. Niners Chargers 34. That is, 18-17, you lose on that scenario. So, you look at Denver giving 5 to Seattle. Any other game you're interested in? We get the Raiders at the Rams at SoFi. And then the next day, they run it back, Niners at Chargers. What do you think about Raiders at Rams? The Raiders favored by 6.5.
Now, that's interesting. That would be the one that I would go over. And I don't know how bad the Raiders D was last year, and they may think, and Gruden's already catching heat, rightfully so, but they were a train wreck. So I'm thinking to myself, young Derek Carr or middle-aged Derek Carr's been barking. So I think we might see a half from him, Dibs. I could see them actually getting over 34 points this game. So that would be the one to where, you know what, I'm going to go against the grain, and I'd be confident to take the over. I'm watching that one.
I like it. Liquidate All Assets. It's Guru and Dibs. We're taking the Chargers and the points in the preseason, and we're taking the Rams Raiders over. And I already gave you Milwaukee as my baseball lock of the day. And Goo, you gave out Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. And I got one more for you, if you don't mind.
Please.
And it's the Dodgers. But my only problem is they've been bullpenning, so they pulled the start. They don't know who they got pitching right now. So whoever they got pitching, they are hot. They'll be taking on the Mets, and the Mets starter has the ERA of 6.28 Dibs. So as soon as the Dodgers announce who they're pitching, they're so hot it could be Daryl Johnson or Dan Dibley. It don't matter. Put your chicken down on the Dodgers.
I love it. Chicken on the Dodgers. They are playing great, and whenever the Orioles play again, I'm not sure if they've already played today, but go ahead and fade Baltimore if you're not doing anything else. They lost again today. So there you go.
And I did it last night. They were in Tampa 2 nights in a row, Dibs, and they lost. They obliged. That we love the Orioles.
Yeah, they love to lose. They're really good at losing. Shout out Keith, O-Dog, of course, Khalil, and VA. Y'all should do this 5 days a week, he says in the comment thread. Well, coming up, we're going to be doing it twice a week. Starting in September, Wednesdays and Fridays, we're going to hit you twice a week. Friday will be the football spectacular. Wednesday, we'll give you all the golf and the soccer and the baseball and the NBA that you need. But, Goo, I need your help because I love the Little League World Series. I've been watching it ever since I was a kid, and we lost to Novato National 21-2, and we didn't advance, and that was it. My career was over. I love this event. And now, come to find out, you can gamble on the Little League World Series. But I find myself at a crossroads because on the one hand, I know more about Little League than any odds maker possibly could, so I have an edge. But on the other hand, you're putting your chicken on the shoulders of a 12, maybe a 13-year-old. What do you think, Goo?
I think that the fact that you are not a manager to any of these young kids, the fact that they're not at the plate or on the mound or in the outfield or infield thinking about, gambling's going on, it's a great American sport, Dibs, and I'm sorry. There's going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser. You should feel nothing. You're not tanking anything. And the fact that there is some action out there, what better way to watch it where there's no contracts and these kids are just in it to win it? Because, Union City American Little League, we tried to dream of getting there, couldn't do it. Dibs, you shouldn't feel bad at all, player. There's
good.
Action. Jump in.
Well, I felt bad when Tennessee was unable to score and I was given 2.5, but I felt good when Hawaii was given 5.5 and they won by 8. And, Nebraska up 2-0. I got them on the money line. That one's kind of nice. And well, now that you took away the guilt, go ahead and take California this evening and give New Hampshire the 2.5. New Hampshire is good. And I looked at all the regional tournaments and all the results, and you can kind of get a mathematical picture of how these teams did. Yeah. And I actually saw Nebraska play. I was half asleep on my golf trip watching with one eye. You know, Goo, you do the one eye thing when you're half in the bag and you're so tired. And this team showed great fight. So Nebraska's my sleeper, and Michigan, folks, if you want to get on Michigan, Hawaii, Nebraska, and Michigan, those are my teams.
And I love it, Dibs. And they call that not that I would know. They call that prison sleeping, like with that one eye open.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll tell you this. As fantastic as the Little League World Series is, Dibs, you know I'm crazy for this, but I love my announcers. They just bring so much when you get a good one. And I'm watching the play-by-play, and I'm not mad. Like, they're doing it for Little League. And, you know, it's so much you can say, but they bring something to the table. I love it, man.
Yeah, it's passion, and it's a much faster game. And so and these kids, they work through all their season to try to make it to this one spot, and they get to be on TV, and I think it's a pretty cool thrill. So nothing crazy, but, maybe just a tiny bit of chicken.
Let me give you
not
a
the full
fact
bucket.
About the Little League World Series, Dibs. I don't know if you remember the old Pirate and manager and player Lloyd McClendon, 5 for 5 in the Little League World Series with 5 home runs.
Wow.
I mean, it don't get any better than that.
Yeah, man. I remember 1982 when a team out of Campbell, California made a run all the way to the Little League final. Wow. I remember, man, the pride and figuring out where Campbell was, because I grew up in Marin and didn't know where Campbell was. I barely knew where San Jose was. And so that's the one thing about Campbell that I always will remember from 1982.
Dude, that is awesome, man. Love it.
Yeah, Liquidate All Assets, brought to you by BetQL, BetQLOnline.com. Goo, we got golf going on. The first playoff event on the PGA Tour. It's the Northern Trust Open, and for the most part, the first round is just about in the book. So we're going to kind of pick it up midstream and give you a couple of picks, Goo, if you're so interested.
I'm ready. I got my pen, baby.
Well, Justin Thomas is the leader right now at -6, and he's going to be plus 500 to win the event. I don't think his game has been in good enough shape to hold on, so we're going to go a little bit off the board. I'm going to give you Tony Finau, Goo. He was 3 under today through 14. He's 3 shots back. You can get him to win the tournament at plus 2,200, 22-1. I'm going to get you Tony Finau.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you this real quick, because I've heard we've had discussions about Thomas. So he's in the lead, but you're looking at it like he just can't. He's a quarter horse. He can't hold on. So you are down on his game in totality.
No, he's a true champion. He's a great player, but right now he hasn't had the string of results recently to where I feel confident that he'll be able to play 4 clean rounds and really close it out. So I'm going to go ahead and fade Justin Thomas in this spot. One player that we're going to buy, though, in this spot is Patrick Cantlay. He's plus 1,800. He finished his round already at 3 under. His game fits this course very well. An unfortunate last name, perhaps.
I was going to have some fun with it, but hey,
no, it's one of the worst names in sports.
Place at this tourney?
He was 12th 2 years ago in this very tournament, and right now he's sitting in 9th place. His first round is done, so all of his heavy lifting is behind him for the most part today.
Where is this course at? Where is this taking place at?
It's at Liberty National, and you've got an incredible view of the Statue of Liberty on the final couple of holes. Yeah, it's right across the water, and so you get a chance on one part in the course where the second shot goes to the green, and you can see the statue right behind. Awesome. It's a pretty spectacular spot.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'll be tuning in, so I can catch that now, huh?
Yeah, it should be on right now for the most part, and if you're able to finish, I think, in the top 70, or no, I'm sorry, the top 100 in points after this event, you move on to the next event. This is the playoffs where they take the top 125.
Wow.
And after this weekend, if you're not in the top 100 in points, then you don't get to move on. And then after next week, if you're not top 70 in points, you don't get to move on. And then the week after that, only the top 30 go to the Tour Championship and play for the $11 million prize.
This is as you taught me, placement city. So obviously there's going to be one winner, but a lot of others depending on cumulative of points. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Some guys are just playing to survive to next week. Others are already set for next week, and they're going to be thinking about winning this tournament. So it's a pretty interesting way to look at it, Goo.
Love it. I'm all in, and I'll get on as soon as we get off here.
I love it, Goo. Just a couple more here. It is Liquidate All Assets, Guru, and Dibs. We're going to make a couple of English Premier League plays for you because we got a full slate of soccer starting on Saturday. Liverpool and Burnley will kick off the action. We're going to go ahead and take the over on Liverpool and Burnley. It's 3, Goo, minus 115. So the over is slightly juiced.
4 to win.
We need 4 to win. Liverpool has the most high-powered offense in all of the Premier League, and Burnley, one of the bottom feeders. And this game, I believe, is it's at Liverpool. It's at Anfield. Look for Liverpool to open up a can on Burnley. So we're going over 3. We're going to take under 2.5. Brentford and Crystal Palace. That's one of the 7 a.m. games. Brentford is one of the new teams. They just got promoted from the lower league. Crystal Palace, a great defensive team. I'd anticipate a low-scoring come-down from Brentford, probably a 1-0 or a 2-0 win for Crystal Palace. So we're going under 2.5 on Palace v. Brentford. And one more for you, just because we love betting against Arsenal. Yeah. We're going to bet Chelsea on the money line, minus 128 against Arsenal. Now, when you bet the money line in soccer, Goo, you lose on a draw. That's the only downside. So in soccer, after 90 minutes, it's win, lose, or draw. When you bet the money line, you're betting a 3-way wager. So you only win if they win. If they tie after 90,
it's a wrap.
Because the draw is an option, you would lose. So we're going to take Chelsea.
Man, cutthroat. Yeah.
But you get a much better price. If you wanted to lay the half of a goal with Chelsea in the draw, you'd lose anyway. So we're going to hope for the win, the 2-1 win. We're taking Chelsea, the Brentford under, and the Liverpool over. Those are your Premier League locks of the week.
Yeah, I love it. And I'll say this about that finish. You know what you're doing when you get that attractive or better odds, knowing that it's got to be settled before they go anything extra. It's a wrap. So I'm not mad at that. You know what comes with it.
I appreciate it, Goo, and I'd love to stay in chat, but Nebraska's up 2-0. Nebraska's up 2-0, and we got base hunters, baby. Let's go.
California, baby.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Later.